Okay, so now it is April 25th of 2023. I just can't catch a break, people. Seriously. Like, I don't know what is wrong with just people in general. Okay, now, this is what I'm going to do. But before I upload that video, I'm probably just going to pitter in here and do my prep work and get ready to do what I'm going to do with my next video. Because we know when these videos can get long. But, you know, like, I know for a fact that YouTube is shadow banning my videos still after all these years. I guess I'm too real and controversial. You know, I don't put on that fake charade of having the perfect homestead, the perfect life, or whatever. Or I'm not a doomsdayer that's all I talk about is doomsday this and doomsday that. And even when I try and be positive, oh man, you know, I'm always being punched in the gut, people. Like, seriously, okay? Like, we know I had this issue. I've been having issues with my son and his girlfriend. All right? We know that there was a big blowout. Whatever. And then we know that I even went back, even when I didn't want to, quote unquote, per se, to try and smooth things over, to remove the tension in the house, considering the last blowout. Okay? I didn't want that girl downstairs to feel threatened, uncomfortable, scared, insecure, unsure. None of that, people. Okay? I'm trying to bring in a equilibrium into the house to which there is none because of that needling. To which brings me to this video right now, to which has completely ruined my day before I even got a chance to start it. All right. So, because when I went and I spoke to this girl, right, because my son just ignored everything I said when we had that blowout and like, fuck you. Andre's not going downstairs. You know, he's not going to be put in the middle of this shit because what's happening here, people, is my son and his girlfriend are trying to make themselves superior in terms of they are the masters of this house. They make the rules. They dictate the agenda. And they use Andre as the weak spot. Well, you're busy. You don't have time to do this and that with him. Marina's giving charity work. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth and be ungrateful. Well, first of all, I never asked this girl to do anything with my grandson. Okay? And anything that she's accomplished with my grandson in comparison to what my son tried to do and what I tried to do, I contribute to. Andre's getting older. He's more focused. He's more apt to make an effort. It's taken a long time to get to where we are. It's nothing I'm not familiar with because I've had 5 kids with 5 different personalities, with 5 different methods of how they learn or don't want to learn, and then try and shift it on to somebody else's. It's your fault that I can't do this even though they themselves didn't apply themselves because of whatever, people. The point is, I put down my guard. And I tried to be compromising and ease up and let things get back to, I don't want to say normal, because there's nothing normal about what's going on. Because it's one big fucking power trip with control freaks here, in my opinion, that want to blame me being the control freak, and that's why they act the way they act, because they don't want me control freaking them. But yet they seem to think they can control freak me, and they use my weaknesses against me. I'm overworked. I'm right. Marina doesn't look after kids of any kind. You can't even say she looks after Andre. Andre's quite capable of fending for himself. And whatever she chooses to do shouldn't make her, I don't want to say the queen of the house, but it appears that way in her mind, that it's her way or the highway, and I need to get the fuck out of my own fucking house. And that's why they keep throwing my shit out, people. Somebody's been going into the freezer downstairs in Auntie Shemay's room and literally just mixing shit up. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're not fucking throwing shit out. Okay? I'm just saying. Just to fuck with my head. Alright? Because for as hard as I try to get along, it's not working. It's just not working. Okay? And I'm going to give you an example. And what I've got to do today is out the window. I'll be lucky to get what I wanted to do today done. Because yesterday I had an eye appointment. Because they're measuring now my iris to be able to give me a cataract replacement. So I got these big ass machines up in my fucking eyes. Right? Stressing out my eyes. Okay? They didn't check my eye pressure, nothing to see what happened with that laser surgery. I was very surprised. When I went in for my eye appointment yesterday, this guy, right, it was a different guy altogether. He brought me to this one little machine, off in a corner somewhere, right? He's wearing a mask. It turns out you don't have to wear masks in there anymore. So, of course, I'm standing on the outside being punished. Leave me alone. Being punished for being a bad girl for not wearing a mask. So I'm standing outside the office looking in saying, I'm here now. They're saying, oh, well, you can come on in. You don't have to worry. You don't have to wear a mask now. I'm like, oh, okay. So I come inside. I sit down. All right. You know, I get there. I was running late because Tisha's always running late. So I'm always running late, which stresses me out. So I get there stressed out because I'm all paranoid because I'm running late. Anyway, this guy comes. He's wearing a mask, whatever, you know, and he takes me to this little cubie. He puts me in this machine. He wants me to look this way with this eye as he's got this machine on this eye. But I can't see from this eye, people. Are you wanting to talk to me?
Feeding rabbits.
Feed the rabbits. Good idea.
Well, we're out of food.
No, there's a little bit over there, Andre.
Yeah, but that means we're out of food then.
That's fine.
She's gonna have to buy more.
Yeah. Okay, so this eye is 2% vision. So if I'm looking straight, right, if I cover this eye, I can see on this side a little bit, but not very much. All right, the point is he's got me looking into a machine, but of course my eye doesn't work, right? So whatever he's trying to take a picture of, he can't, because I can't control this eye. So he's got me looking over here with this eye, and I'm trying to look, but it's not working because it's, even if I'm doing what he's asking me to do, it's not connecting with this eye. So he's getting frustrated, is what I'm saying. He's getting mad, right? Because, you know, he's saying, look here, so I'm like trying. Then he, no, over here, and I'm trying, but it's not lining up with this eye because this eye isn't responding. Okay. And then, anyway, eventually he gets, I guess, what he wants. I don't know. But he's like, right? And I'm like, whatever. And then I cough a bit, right? I cough a bit, right? Because, you know, I'm congested all the time, right? And he goes, oh, you're sick. Put on a mask. And he fucking started freaking out on me, people. I'm like, well, first of all, I'm not sick. Like, you know, I'm a smoker, right? You know, I have allergies, whatever, you know? I'm 61 years old. Or he goes, well, I'm a smoker too. Put on a mask. You know, you're sick. I don't want your germs. I don't want you spitting on me. I said, I'm not spitting on you. Like, what the fuck, right? Anyway, he said, well, come with me. So he storms off to another room. Okay. And I'm like, just don't react, right? You know, people are stressed out. You know, oftentimes they're taking their displaced out anger on you, right? Well, I don't know why people think they can pick on me, but they do. So we're in this room, and he's, he going on about this mask. And I said, well, okay, fine, I'll put on a mask for you. I'll do it for you. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, if that's what you want me to do. Like, well, don't you have one? I said, no, I don't. But I can go out and go get one from the reception area if that's what you really want. Oh, well, I'm just tired of people spitting on me, and, you don't know. And I'm like, I'm not spitting on you. Like, what the hell? Oh, there's this one machine where I'm going to be real up close to you. You'll be spitting all over my face. I said, look, I'll go get the mask. Oh, no, I just won't give you that test. That's okay. I don't need to do it. And I said, like, look, like, spitting. And I'm like, I'm not fucking anywhere near you to spit. Just calm down, right? Right? Anyway, he couldn't get a rise out of me. And I acknowledged his feelings because he said, I've been doing this for 30 years. And since the masks came in, he hasn't gotten as sick as he used to because he's been dealing with patients for 30 years when he's doing this stuff, doing whatever he does, I guess people talk and they spit. And I acknowledge that, yes, that happens because I know from Uncle John, with the way his teeth were, he was spitting all the time when he was talking. So some people tend to spit more when they talk, if they got buck teeth or whatever, or just whatever. So it wasn't like I didn't acknowledge what he was saying. And I told him, like, I do understand what you're saying, but, like, I'm not spitting on you. And, but if that's what's happened to you all these years, you must have a pretty good immune system. He goes, oh, well, I never really thought about it. I said, well, obviously you've got a strong immune system if you're coming into contact with this kind of stuff. Plus, I told him that, I've often thought about dentists. They're drilling in the water, spitting all over the place, and saliva, and, it's flying in their faces. And I said, you're not the only one that has to deal with this shit when it comes to a professional doing whatever, right? And I said, I appreciate you being so blunt about your feelings, because he kind of like started, well, it's nothing personal, and I'm like, obviously it's nothing personal because didn't get anywhere near you to spit, and I'm not sick, and blah. And I went on to kind of talk to about how my grandson comes into contact with all these healthcare professionals, with their inoculations and all this shit, and none of us are inoculated, and and he goes, well, and I'm like, whatever. Like, so anyway, the point is he eventually calmed down, and, he apologized for being over hyper about it or whatever he was going on about. And he never did do that one test that he was all paranoid about that I'd be spitting on, even though I offered to go get a mask for him, not for me, but for him. And he told me that, since he's been wearing a mask, he hasn't gotten as sick as he used to compared to not wearing a mask. And I said, well, I can appreciate that if that's the case, right? But at the end of the day, so the point is, I got ragged on by some fucking stranger at an eye clinic that was going on for a good 15, 20 minutes about people spitting on him. Just so he could justify him wearing his mask because he's used to it now. He's used to it. I said, well, you're a professional. You are aware that, you're depriving yourself of oxygen, right? Even in the smallest sense. I said, that's not good for you. He goes, yeah, I know, but at the end of the day, I don't get nearly as sick as I used to when I used to go and do these procedures with other people that were spitting, and it, it'd go in his eye or in his face or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, what can you do, right? I mean, that's... So, and I mean, like, that's all stressful for me, people. Like, totally stressful, right? And so anyway, after that, I went off and I did some shopping because, I'm just whatever, right? I only got so much time left to do this stuff, people. Seriously.
Can't
See,
find it.
what are you looking for?
The rabbit food.
I'll get it for you later. You know, it's getting worse. It's not getting better. It's just not. And after that appointment with that dude, you know, I go back to the main reception area and I'm like, okay, well, what do I do now? Like, is a doctor going to check my eye pressure? No, he's not even in. I'm like, oh, okay. So they give me the laser surgery. They send me away, but nobody's doing a follow-up on it to see if it did anything. I find that to be kind of weird. And I'm like, okay, well, what do I do now? Just wait for a phone call? And they said, yeah, we'll call you. I guess they're going to call me when it comes time to go to the hospital and have this procedure around my iris where they're going to take a little pipe cleaner, roto-root it as they replace the cataract. And then I guess that's when they'll check the pressure on that eye. So we don't even know if the laser surgery did anything, to which I think personally it made it worse. But that's the beauty of what they do. They can just simply said it would have happened on its own. Therefore, it's nothing to do with their procedure. Okay. The point is, I'm living with this, people. Okay? Right? And I'm being brave. And as I'm being brave, it's like people would prefer to have me do the opposite. They would prefer to have me wallow in self-pity, put my tail between my legs, go curl up in a corner and start sleeping so that they can start kicking me around and saying that I'm being fucking lazy. But when I'm actually doing things, then I'm being, I guess, selfish, because I'm not able to do everything at one time. And this is where my son and his girlfriend use my weakness, which is Andre, when it comes to his quote-unquote reading, as their method to put themselves on a pedestal to control me and this house. And here's the example. All right. What? The blow-up happened. A day went by. I don't want distension in the house. I don't want to keep anger brewing and multiplying and festering. So I go downstairs. I acknowledge her feelings. Right? I told her I'm willing to give it another shot. Right? And that we just need to have that ease in, because her life is different than my life with my grandkids. She has only herself and my son as a responsibility, where I have a whole lot more responsibilities than she has when it comes to my grandkids, housework, yard work, making sure bills are paid, whatever. And now we know I have a lawyer that's waiting for info that I just don't want to stuff into an envelope and willy-nilly send it to her, hoping that I get it back in the order that I sent it to her. So therefore, before I take that chance, I'm going to photocopy it myself. So I had to spend $250 on ink and paper, and I'll probably have to spend more. Otherwise, I'm looking at 16 cents a page if I do it through Staples. So I chose to do it at home, because we know that as I go through the paperwork, whatever sticky tapes I have, I want to type out, and right, so that when she gets the information, all she has to do is look on the document list, correlate it with the number, find the number in the papers that I provided to her to flip, and then everything that I write in that document list will all start to come together, versus just giving it to her where she has to figure it out for herself, where some of that information she wouldn't even know. Like, for example, in Shimei's medical files, when she was dead on that bed, it listed that I denied organ donation, which is a bunch of freaking crock. The government wants to ignore it. If I don't point it out to this lawyer, she would never know that. Because they've got it in Shimei's files that I denied it, which is a lie. And I have witnesses to it, people. This is what I mean by falsified medical files. So this is why I have to photocopy and make a document list and make it so that she can see where the things that I see, so that she doesn't have to figure it out because it's already been figured out. That's going to take some time, which puts pressure on me because this lawyer wants this info now, but I can't give it to her now because I have a family and a household to look after, to which my son and his girlfriend are trying to sabotage from within. And this is how it's working. So here I thought I'd smooth things over with this girl just so that there would be no anger in the house. No, nothing. So she wouldn't feel insecure, so she wouldn't, whatever, right? We could just get back on track and just try and be, I don't know, what, normal? All right? And then I had the appointment yesterday. Tisha was here with the two kids, Amari. I don't know. I guess she insisted that Andre go downstairs yesterday and read. So, you know, he had to go downstairs and read yesterday, even though he should have been upstairs with his cousins, helping his aunt, whatever. Okay, I didn't squawk about it. And then, you know, I'm tired, people, because life is draining. Let me just check on Amari for a minute. You're being quiet. Okay. Life is draining when everything gets cloudy and gray and you experience dizziness with it and you're overworked and overwhelmed, whatever, you know, it's rough, right? Anyway, I was up fairly late last night. I went to sleep and I slept in this morning. I got up at about 10:30. I hadn't even been up for 2 minutes, people. And when I woke up, I was feeling like crap. Because I'm overworked and overwhelmed and just whatever, right? You know, people importing their negative energy at me, like with that guy, you're spitting at me. I said, no, I'm not. I'm not anywhere near you. You're sick. No, I said, no, I'm not. I'm not sick. If I was sick, you would know I was sick, okay? Like, oh, well, people spitting on me all the time. 30 years, people spitting on my eyes and my face, and I go home and get sick. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you for letting me know. I can understand that because Uncle John used to spit all the time when he talked. You know, it's good that you're being blunt about it. I can appreciate that. So I was a sounding board for some dude that had a whole lot of fucking frustration and took it out on me. But at the end of the day, we walked away in peace. I didn't take it personal, okay? So whatever, but it's drawing out that energy, okay? And then, of course, I went off and I bought meat that I'm going to can. So, but I'm not trying to beat myself up over it. You know, one, I'm spending money that I really probably shouldn't. But two, more than anything, I'm creating extra work for myself, which I probably really shouldn't. But then I justify it like this. It's not going to be long before you won't be able to fucking do it anymore. So fuck it. Fuck it. Right? The meat is going more and more and more expensive, and sooner or later it's going to be so expensive that they're going to come to me and ask me if I have a jar of meat because they can't afford to buy it in a freaking grocery store. Whether I'm dead or alive, if they're not throwing it out before I die, okay? I shouldn't have to fucking think about them throwing out my shit, never mind food yet. But with the attitudes that I'm dealing with, I'm starting to really wonder here, people. I really am. Because, okay, I get up, I'm feeling like crap, I'm worn out, you know, I write these machines and, you know, it's whatever, it overstimulates my eyes and whatever, and I'm like, I got now the you know, I don't want to say the burden of the lawyer, but I'm trying to just calm down. She'll understand, right? Because, it's pressure, right? Just like with the yard. Just calm down. Your landlady's going to come with that fucking whip, and she could snap it at you at any fucking moment. Like, you just don't know when it's going to fucking come, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? And just whatever. And Mari's got appointments, and of course I'm like, oh fuck, so he's not allowed to help with the kids now because he's got to be downstairs. Oh, we're back on that fucking bandwagon. I let it fucking go. Okay. Yesterday I heard about it. He went down. Okay, whatever. Tisha was okay with it. Whatever. I didn't say anything. I didn't let it bother me. Nothing. Even though I didn't necessarily agree with it. But at the same time, I get up this morning. I'm feeling like shit. I don't even feel like I slept. I'm worn out, but I got to can this meat because I bought it, and I'm going to do it differently this time. I'm going to talk about that in a second because I want to, because I've done enough fucking pressure canning. I know, okay? So anyway, I'm like, don't give up. Just hang in there. Just do what you want. You're not doing anything bad, right? Right? It's just a matter of time before you won't be able to do it pretty soon, and you don't even know where you're going to end up, and you just might end up running away and never fucking be found. Who fucking knows, right? To be thrown into a room and fucking ignored and abused and forgotten about. Like, fuck, it's not like I get a lot of love, people. It's not like I get a lot of love here, okay? For anything. So, from anybody, really, except for maybe my grandkids. And besides that point, I'm feeling like shit this morning. I hadn't even been up for 2 fucking minutes. Not even 2 fucking minutes. I started walking around, and what do I get? A fucking phone call. I go, hello? And I already told this girl, don't call me. Don't be calling with your spot checks. But she did it anyway. Is Andre up? Is Andre coming down? I said, like, who is this? It's Marina. Is Andre coming down? I said, what time is it? It's 10:30. I'm waiting for him. I said, holy fuck, give it a fucking break. And I just hung up on her, people. I hadn't even been up for 2 fucking minutes. She heard me walking around. Clearly, I just started, everybody was sleeping. Everybody. As soon as she heard me walking, she called. That right there tells you something. Is Andre coming down? I said, who is this? It's Marina. I said, well, what the hell? Like, what time is it? It's 10:30. I'm waiting for him. I said, like, holy fuck. Like, don't you listen to what I say? Right? Like, fucking ease up. Like, fuck, man. It's like, since when do we operate on your fucking time schedule? I said he's sleeping. Oh, well, I need to know what's going on so I can plan my day. She's gaslighting me. I said, plan your day. I said, holy fuck. I'm like, I just hung up the phone, people. Of course, I'm like, don't get mad. Don't let her poke the bear. She wants a rise out of you, but I had to go downstairs and say something, people. I just had to. So I went downstairs. I said, like, what the hell? Like, Andre's, sleeping a while, and she's arguing and she's laughing. She's arguing with me, being snotty with me, while she's fucking laughing, people. And I'm not supposed to get mad. Telling me that I'm disturbing her life when I go downstairs and want to do something. I said, how dare you say that? Because I hardly ever go downstairs and do what I need to do because of you guys. I'm behind on what I need to do downstairs because of them. Right, people? And when I do go down there, I'm on fucking eggshells. And then she's just arguing with me. Leave me alone.
I'm gonna run my bike on the grass. In the front, okay? Get up.
Yeah.
Nice and hot, so I'm gonna enjoy a long time.
And she's laughing. And she thinks it's funny. And I said, okay, so what? Are you recording this conversation so you can let my son hear it? So that you can turn him against me? Sick him on me? Because that, it's like 2 against 1, right? Oh, well, it's not like I'm not going to tell him what's going on. And she's being snotty. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, Oh, well, you said that, we were going back to the schedule. I said, but the thing is, this is your schedule. I never asked you to do this. Like, whatever, like, right? Like, fuck, there's other things. And, like, oh my God, people, you don't even know. You don't even know. I left it short and sweet. Maybe had a conversation with her for 5 or 7 fucking minutes. I'm at the point where I don't even want to talk to this girl. Because they just twisted around like another Tamika fucking Johnson. Just twist it around and make me look like I'm the fucking shithead. I'm the bad one in the fucking house, even though the bitch is in my fucking house, okay? She pays the least amount of rent. I told her that. You pay the least amount of rent, but yet you seem to think that you dictate the tone in this place and you make all the fucking rules. And then I just cut it short because I didn't want to go around in circles and harp on the same crap as she's laughing in my face thinking it's fucking funny, just waiting for my son to get home so she can geek him up and have him fucking and I told her, I was like, maybe you want me fucking dead so you can get all this shit. Seriously, maybe you do. Right? Like, seriously, why you want to bring distension into the house and dysfunction and arguments and keep it going? Like, why? Why? It's because you care about, I care about Andre. What? You care about Andre? So you're just going to make sure that you fucking fight with his nana all the time so that you can pretend that you're teaching him how to fucking read so you can feel good about yourself and be in control? Like, fuck off. Seriously, man. Fuck off. And now I'm feeling sick. Sicker than what I felt before I even woke up. From the stress, people. Stress. As I told myself, even though I was tired and feeling stressed out, that I was gonna get up and be productive and have a good freaking day today. But I didn't expect a phone call 2 minutes after I woke up and started walking around and being razzed and guilt-tripped. Well, I want to plan my day. Yeah, well, you go ahead and plan your day. And I told her, listen, if he's not down there by 11 o'clock, we don't need to answer to you as to why. You just go off and do what you want to do, if that's the case. Being that you're just basically doing whatever it is that you want to do anyway, right? Oh, well, I said, or what? 10, what is the good time? She goes 10:30. I said, fine. If he's not downstairs by 10:30, you don't need to do follow-up checkups to find out why. And we don't have to explain to you why, because you're not the fucking sergeant in the house. Okay? We're not running a concentration camp here with you being the boss, with your backup bitch, my son. Like, seriously. I am supposed to be canning meat today that is in my fridge. Because it's getting very, very, very expensive. And I'm going blind, where this time next year, I probably won't be able to do it. The guy that was going on accusing me of spitting in his face, even though I was nowhere freaking near it, I told him this will probably be my last year working in my landlady's, but I didn't say landlady's, I said my yard, which is a big yard. Hold on a minute. Okay, I just got off the phone with Tisha. This is how messed up things are. Tisha's dad is in the hospital, people. Apparently he was staying in a motel for whatever reason. And for the last week or so, apparently, for the last week, he says that he wasn't feeling well. But the thing is, through that duration of that week, he's bleeding from just bleeding out. From his mouth, wherever, right? Bleeding out. And apparently there was blood all over the place because somebody went to go check up on him and they found him really sick, bleeding out all over the place. So she took her so she took him to the hospital, and now they're doing tests. And Tisha talked to him briefly on the phone, and she says he can barely breathe. And this is what my fucking son and his stupid girlfriend don't understand. It can happen that fast. Poof, you're gone, and nothing moves except you. In this situation, Tisha's dad is still alive. But for a week, he's been sick, and he's been bleeding out blood from different parts of his body. For how long, who knows? To the point where somebody had to go and do a welfare checkup on him and say, oh, no, something wrong here. You need to go to the hospital. And even then, he was reluctant to go. And he could barely breathe. Now, this man has been inoculated 3 times. 3 times he's been inoculated, people. And Paige's mom, Melanie and whoever, okay, she got inoculated with all the boosters. And from that point forward, she's on a dialysis machine. She lost her eyesight completely. At least I can see a little bit in one eye. And there's something else going on with her blood. And none of that happened until she got inoculated. So that's 2 people that have had severe health issues after the fact of being inoculated with boosters. To where one of them, if that individual who went to go visit him didn't go and visit them when they did, he could very well have died in the next day or 2 or 3. Being that he was in that motel for a week, sick, bleeding out all over the place in there. Okay? Think about it. Well, my fucking son's girlfriend wants to fucking argue and try and convince me that she cares about Andre, and that's why she's so adamant to be the bitch in the house to say, no, he needs to be down here at this time to this time. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what's going on in his life. I don't care what's going on in your life, especially your life, because it's not about you, because Andre needs to learn how to read, and the only way he's going to learn that is if he comes down and reads with me. So therefore, you suck it up, bitch, because if you don't, I'm going to sick your son on you. Which just adds more stress on me, even though I'm trying to smooth over the rift in the house, people. And when I thought everything was fine, clearly it blew up in my face real fucking fast this morning with her laughing, straight up laughing in my fucking face, thinking it was funny, that I was upset and that I had no right to be, because it's her schedule that's important here. I could kick off tomorrow. And you know what? This girl would be in her fucking glory. Because then she could put her fingers into anything she wants in this house and pretend that she cared about me when we damn well know she doesn't give a rat's ass about me, and she sees me as a fucking nuisance and something to abuse. So, knowing that, from the moment I woke up, not even 2 minutes after the fact, that's what I've been thinking about all day. And now I'm finding out that Tisha's dad almost died. And you know what? He's a pretty healthy guy. He's a kickboxer, people. A kickboxer his whole life. Strong martial arts. Used to do tournaments, everything. Like, he's a black belt. Is that the highest on the high of being martial arts? He had his own gym. Used to teach all kinds of people how to do those things. And he's in a motel by himself, dying, and nobody was there for him. What the hell? Anyway, Tisha wants to, if they release him from the hospital, she wants him to go to her house and, you know, keep an eye on him for a little while. But he's got pride, right? And And he's saying no, and she's saying yeah. And I'm like, Tisha, you know, your dad has a lot of pride. He's never going to put that burden on you, but, you know, this is where you just need to give him a hug and let him know that you love him and that, you know, you insist. And if worst comes to worst, tell him that you're going to bring him to my house and he can sleep on a bunk bed. I don't think he's going to want that. Whereas if he goes to Tisha's place, he can just have a room temporarily for himself with privacy and someone that actually loves and cares of him, keeping an eye on him, because we don't know what's wrong with him, people, other than he got inoculated 3 fucking times. And whatever happened was very sudden. Well, my son's girlfriend just wants to keep poking the fucking bear and egging it on and egging it on and egging it on and egging it on. So, I think the next video should start fresh. Because what's going to happen here is I want to do a water bath with meat. Only I'm going to use extra fat as a preserving agent over that meat in the jar. I have canned so much in the last 8 years, you can't even imagine. And only the United States of America, with their, you know, food regulatory body, says that you have to use a pressure canner in order to be quote unquote safe when it comes to the boogeyman botulism. Although after you're done pressure canning, you still have to heat it up to a boil, right? And then put a lid on it, bring it down to a more lower boil, and just keep boiling it there like that for a good 10 minutes to kill off any botulism spores that might have survived that pressure canning session. So even then, it's not 100% fail-safe. Whereas if you go to every other country in the world, in the UK, in Germany, in just wherever, people don't even have access to pressure canners because their governing bodies don't see them as safe appliances. So therefore, those people do it the old way with the water bath method, which is a 3-hour cook, to which I am going to do, where some of them use fat as an extra layer of a preserving method to preserve meat in a jar without using a pressure canner. I am going to do that. Just like I did the Alfredo sauce. The cheesy extra Alfredo sauce. Will I always do it like that? Probably not. But this is something that I want because I want to use the extra fat. And I feel that if I use a pressure canner, I know what happens. Which pushes that grease up and whatever. Whereas I'm going to try the water bath just to see basically what happens with the grease if it stays down versus and crawling up. Okay? And I do feel comfortable with the method because I've cooked enough, long enough, over the years, canned enough to know that food is more stable than we'd like to acknowledge, especially when governments want people going into a grocery store and buying only what they sell and not what you can do for yourself when it comes to home canning or even eating dandelion leaves and dandelion flowers or even dandelion roots, because we were taught by our governments that dandelions are a weed and should be thrown away into the trash, because God forbid if people were starting to eat dandelions and found out that they're full of vitamin C as well as other valuable minerals and vitamins to where they don't need to go to the grocery store and buy a standard quote-unquote lettuce that was grown in a hothouse or in some country where it has to be shipped in a truck. When you can simply go out into your yard and have a patch of beautiful dandelions and feed your family something better than what you can buy in a grocery store when it comes to that vitamin C count. I'm just saying, people. Okay? And even till this day, people still see dandelions as a weed. You go figure.
Yeah.
What?
Is it true that vinegar can destroy rust?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola can't destroy rust.
It's not destroy rust. It eats the rust.
I watched a video of a guy using Coca-Cola for his katana, and it did not work. He literally left his katana outside for months for the rust.
It didn't work?
No, it didn't.
Okay,
he used vinegar and it worked.
Oh, well, then I guess vinegar works. I don't know.
Vinegar literally ate the rust. He
Also, a sandpaper will, you can sand it off and then oil it.
My chain is rusted.
Oh, well, no, in that situation, you just need,
A new chain?
No, you just need oil.
Oil.
I might have some up there, but I'd have to climb and go look. Uncle Marcane might have oil because he has chainsaws. Talk to Marcane.
Okay.
Because
my bike chain is, it's rusted, so.
Okay, well, I'm doing a video. Talk to Marcane. And if not that, then, I don't know, I will, in the next day or two, I can get up there and look. I probably have some up high, if I remember correctly. It's been sitting there for 10, 15 years. Well, I haven't been in this house for 15 years. So we'll just say it's been sitting up there for 12 years. And if I remember correctly, it's probably still sitting up there. I don't want to climb and have to struggle with that. I need to do this meat because that's what's important right now.
Yesterday when I was riding, the teacher mentioned that the chain's rusted.
Yeah, okay, you made it noted and I will look for it, okay? Okay? Don't worry, I will just, that's not what I'm doing right now because I have to get a chair. I have to climb. And I don't want to climb just yet, okay? I have to move stuff, all right? Can you piece this in here for me nicely so I can close this up and be done with it? I don't know, or maybe put it in there and just so I need to clear off the counter. So anyway, let me go check, sorry.
There you go. You had it in the long one.
Okay.
You have it in the small one.
Okay, well I can't see, you know that. That you're my eyes. Alright, because I want to just put this away. I washed it, everything's nice now. That's
okay. Can you wake me up at 8 tomorrow for me to...
Tisha, yeah.
Make me, for me to make something to eat?
Yeah, because Amari's appointment's a little earlier.
Yeah.
It's earlier, so she'll be out of here by 9:30.
So 8 for me then. Then I have to...
I asked Tisha to call me because right now I'm very tired. And I didn't wake up until 10:30 this morning and I'm like...
Tisha, right?
Huh?
I'm going with Tisha, correct?
Yeah, go with Tisha.
Yeah. Tisha's dad.
I don't know. Something happened to him. I don't know. It's serious. Oh, very serious. He almost died. It's scary. So, keep him in your heart, okay? Keep him in your heart. Hopefully whatever's wrong with him, they can fix it.
What happened?
I don't know. He's just started bleeding out from his mouth and his bottom and it's everywhere. He's got something, internal bleeding going on for some reason or another.
That's not good.
No, it's not good.
Well, I'm just trying my bike on the grass, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway.
What am I just miserable?
Okay, I got a video going. I'm going to finish it, alright? I know. Okay. So, yeah. It happens that fast, people. And with this ongoing badgering over stupid shit, Seriously. What do you think's going to happen to me with this stress? Right? Of course I ignore it, right? And I try not to dwell on it, right? And I'm trying to be productive where I can be productive, even though I get humiliated and gaslighted and fucking just whatever over it. But when I do this meat, you know, we're going to look at the prices that I paid for it with discount on some of it, most of it anyway. And I don't plan on, you know, I'm putting this stuff in my room right now because somebody is moving shit around down there and I don't appreciate it. I don't know what, why, or other than just to piss me off, right? Clearly, the fight is still on, and I'm not even up for the fucking fight. It was enough I had to put up with Austin and Sierra. It was enough I had to put up with fucking Julian and Shmay. And now I've got this girl fucking taking on the role of what I've had to put up with just to keep the tension going in the house. And trying to turn Marcane even more against me. That's what Julian tried to do with Shmay. That's what Austin tried to do with Sierra. Turn them against me. And for what? I hardly ever go downstairs, people. I can't. It's too antsy. So I get behind on things. And then I get ragged on for not doing things fast enough. Like, it's fucking stupid. I'm sick of it. Like I said, I got another fucking Joan Duncan in the house. Or a Julian Johnson. Or a Austin Luck. Like, serious. It was completely uncalled for what happened this morning. Completely fucking uncalled for. So, I'm just going to continue clearing out in here. Get everything ready. I'm going to have to wash my jars. I want to do this today because I have to get out and do some stuff in the yard before the end of the month. I got my ink now and my paper. I had it delivered to the house, so it's there. I'm going to start photocopying Andre's medical files first. Right? That's what I'm going to do. It's about this thick. Okay? But I'm not going to kill myself over it. I'm just not. And then throughout the month, I'm going to pick away at Amari's files and Shmay's complete medical files as I make that document list to point out things that are either direct lies when it comes to misinformation, or it's misleading, one or the other. Or perhaps maybe something was even omitted, so that this lawyer can see a pattern forming. As I include that little teeny weeny part of my medical file when Tisha was born, where that Chinese nurse gave me too much oxytocin that literally was making me heave off the bed, where by the time Tisha almost flew out of my vagina, that woman was saying, as she was holding Tisha's head in like this, don't push. And my body was going like this, saying, I'm not pushing. And by the time Tisha was born, okay, I was half off the fucking bed with people hanging on to me because of that bitch tweaking that oxytocin. And nowhere in my medical files is that listed. But I'm going to let that lawyer know that's exactly what happened. Because I was there, and I have proof. You want to know how I have proof? Pull up my medical file after that was done to show that I had a tilted fucking uterus because of it. Because of what that little fucking bitch did. And that was in 98. So don't talk to me that Shmay's medical files are legit. When I can point out here, point out there, point out the discrepancies. So anything that she's reading in Amari's medical files, take with a fucking grain of salt. As if those so-called professionals are going to do the right thing and tell the truth. As I got some... Andre's got to be here right now because I need to get on with my day. I'm making this my job to fucking be on your ass because it's my house, my rules, do it my way, and if you don't, you're an ungrateful fucking bitch and your son's gonna know about it. Like, fuck off. Oh. So, my kitchen, my rules. I'm going to can some meat, old school. Yeah, with a little extra fat on top as an added preserving agent. Because I'm from the farms. I'm a, what is that? True blood. And I'm not afraid of life, people. If I was afraid of life, I wouldn't do half the shit that I do. So I'm going to end this video now.